Locals live here with Bayut. Find real and authentic properties using TrueCheck. Download the app or visit Bayut.com.
Where we have our second real estate professional in the studio this morning in a pinstripe suit. Fibha, I didn't realise there was a memo.
It certainly was there.
Paul Kelly was in earlier. He was a fine white stripe on blue, complete with a waistcoat. You've come in, for those not watching on television, double-breasted suit, white with, is that a black or a blue stripe?
Black.
I like it. Both of you clearly up and suited and booted this morning. Fibha Ahmed is the Director of Sales for Dubizzle and Bayut. And we've been talking a lot about rents this morning. And you're bringing the conversation down to an area of town that I know Richard always likes to reference when we're talking about property on the show, to point out that it's not all apartments in the marina and villas on the Palm. You've come in to talk to us about what's happening in Old Dubai. Geographically, though, draw the map for me first. What would you define as being Old Dubai?
So Old Dubai, when we refer to this area in the real estate segment, we talk about everything that is after the trade center on Sheikh Zayed Road, if you're driving from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. And this would include areas like Bur Dubai, your Deira, and then further down you have your Karamas and your Deira, Nahda area. And when we specifically talk about Old Dubai, it's about the heritage that's still intact in those areas and all the developments that have been set there.
Okay, so let's get a picture of this, because Tom, Richard and myself were all Bur Dubai residents back in the day when we first moved here. That's where our flats were. How much of that is available to buy these days, though? You're talking about new developments. How much of it is available on the market for anyone to buy, and how much of it is not?
Interesting you asked that, Brandy, because the misconception is that all of the Old Dubai area is non-freehold and best you would get would be leasehold. In the recent years, we've seen a lot of new developers and the old well-settled developers venturing into these areas and bringing you freehold opportunities, especially if you look at the Al Jadaf area, which is somehow closer to Bur Dubai and includes your Dubai Healthcare City, your Culture Village. These areas have popped up with freehold options for everyone to make use of. They start from studios to 1 bed, 2 bed, and then some branded residences as well.
And I tend to think of this as being quite a high density area, an apartment area than a villa area. Am I out of date?
It is mostly apartment area, and with all the new developments that are coming up across the Jadaf waterfront, it is mostly your apartments, penthouses with a handful of villas, which are extremely branded and towards the higher end of the segment.
Okay, so for the new communities, those that are, as you say, freehold, how much are we talking to buy in compared to the rest of Dubai? How do the prices stack up?
The prices for a 1 bed in these newer communities start anywhere between 1.1 million and they go all the way up to 1.8 million. I'm talking Wasl New Development, which is next to the Zabil Park. Extremely well-maintained and well-furnished units that are ready to move in, has made the headlines. And you can easily get a studio for in the Jadaf area or the Healthcare City area for about 500K, 650K.
How popular is that? What are you seeing in terms of searches?
In terms of searches, with this introduction of some newly launched buildings and some projects, we've seen up to 80% increase in interest. Of course, people who are getting priced out either due to higher rents are looking to move to these new and vibrant integrated communities and make a home for themselves here. If not buying at this point in time, then certainly renting, as rents are also competitively much affordable as compared to your marinas and your downtowns.
I'm trying to see, and it's interesting you talk there about people moving in from other areas as the rents rise. We've been speaking to Paul Kelly this morning about the migration, particularly for new families coming in out to the suburbs. He was talking about the Al Qudra corridor, so moving out past the ranches, past the Mira community down towards Town Square and the rest of it. What are we seeing here when people are migrating through older Dubai? How far are they going? Are they going across the creek?
People are looking towards newer communities. Your Jadaf area, your Culture Village, these are closer to your very popular Dubai Creek harbour, and it gives an edge in terms of the address and the status of that area, as well as the closer proximity to the airport. So I would say these newer developments across Jadaf front has really picked up a lot of interest.
How then wildly do the prices range? Because there's an awful lot of difference between being sort of downtown Dubai and being on the new harbour.
I would say that these are anywhere between 30 to 40% in terms of your sale prices. And not to forget, these have a decent space size as compared to properties in your very well-settled communities. You get bigger space, you get good value for money, you get a new development, and either you get a creek view apartment, or you get something which is closer to your data islands, or what we call now Dubai Islands. You have great opportunities. Mina Rashid by Umar Development has really picked up a lot of interest in the last 6 to 7 months. They're coming up with some really good offers where you would have beachfront access because they're developing around the Port Rashid area. So there is a lot of opportunity on that side of town and ample interest that we've observed over the last 6 to 8 months.
Well, the million dirham question, if you're seeing more interest then, how long can it stay affordable?
I would say that given that there is a lot of interest in the well-settled communities at the moment, give it another 6 to 8 months and we can sit back here and talk about prices. What we've seen as compared to last year, there has already been a 34% price increase on an average for these areas. Let's see what the future holds as we continue to see more demand.
Fibha Ahmed is the Director of Sales for Dubizzle and Bayut in the studio to talk about an area of Dubai that I know Richard always likes to compare the prices to remind us that Dubai does exist beyond the trade centre. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And that's going to kick off on Monday, Climate Conversations. Now, this is a new